Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the second of two graded stakes races at Churchill Downs on Thanksgiving Day is race number 11. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 River City Handicap. $100,000 is the purse. We're going 9 furlongs on the lawn. This is a gigantic field. We don't like the favorites. We're taking a little bit of a stab, but I think this is a nice opportunity perhaps to have a score if you have an opinion.
Yeah, especially just in a race where it feels like it's a pretty evenly matched group, and then some of the likelier favorites, maybe they've got bad draws or maybe they've got pace situations that are going to be adverse. I just kind of feel like this is an opportunity to take a stab.
The morning line favorite is the number 5, Shining Copper, trained by Michael Maker, a horse certainly capable at the highest levels, capable of running triple-digit Beyer speed figures, and in very good form. Just went gate to wire in an allowance race at Keeneland last time out. That race, though, he could not have gotten an easier early lead. You give this horse a 24-2 first quarter mile, and he's going to make you pay, and he did so. That was with an easy lead. Let's cue up the Timeform US Pace Projector and see where our friends have the number 5, Shining Copper. Well, they have her about close to the pace, but that red bar indicates this pace scenario is going to be a lot different than last time.
I think there are a lot of horses that want to be forward in this spot, and I have to be honest, I don't necessarily agree with this. I think it's going to be fast, but I think the speed of the speed is Shining Copper, even including the dirt horse that's going to try turf for the first time, breaking from the outside. I think Shining Copper, you've got one way to go. You try to bottom this field out. Do what he's always done in the past. The problem is at 1 1/8 miles, I just don't know that this is a perfect situation.
Multiple Grade 1 placed in his career. He's run some big races, but if the pace is honest, it might set things up for stalkers and closers.
Agree or disagree? I think he's better going even longer with that speed. Well, because maybe he can go 49
in
for
races
a half.
like the Million, in longer distance races. And if you give him 40, he has that 23 quarter in him. I think last time at Keeneland we saw it the second quarter where he extended and just kind of just took all the fight and all the air out of the other horses that were chasing him. In those longer distance races, he could throw a 23 in the third quarter, create separation and hold. Here it'll be interesting to see if he can get away. I think in able to do that 23, he needs to be able to get loose and relax. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Agreed, and I think that's the biggest concern. If this race were a little bit longer, 10 furlongs, even 12, maybe I would like him a little bit more.
Shotgun Cowboy, the 13, Timeform US has him on the lead. He's only tried turf once before. That was at Remington Park in the summer of 2016. He was beaten as an odds-on favorite, but it was a good field. I mean, Ataka came back, won 2 of his next 3 starts. The third place finisher won his next 2 starts. Those were some solid horses, and this horse has always been okay. He is closing in on $1 million in earnings, and he's versatile. James Graham has options being outside of the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, he ran well enough in that one turf try. This is an entirely different ballgame. You're going to be facing much better horses, but at the same time, look at the horses that he's faced in 2017 and tell me it's not a pretty solid list with the More Spirits of the Worlds. And I know Texas Chrome fell off a little bit, but you got Iron Fist in there as well. Dancing Candy. I mean, he's faced good horses.
War Correspondent, the issue has never been talent. The issue has always been soundness. Christophe Clement's had a lot of trouble getting to the races. He's 7 years old. He's only started 15 times in his career. It was a great achievement for Clement to get this horse to win the Grade 3 Miami Mile, I think, 2 starts back at the ripe old age of 7. He went to the sidelines again. That was an okay race last time out, the Presque Isle Mile. They put him on synth. That race has produced 3 next out winners. The winner came back to win the Autumn, a Grade 2 race, upsetting the heavily favored Melmich with a 98 Beyer. War Correspondent can easily win this race. At a shortish price, at 1 1/8 miles, I like him at a flat mile.
I agree 100%. The distance to me is a little bit scary. It's good to see him that he's back in the entries and ready to go because, like you made mention, he just has not been the soundest horse ever. But I think this distance is going to be pushing it a little bit.
Number 6, Revved Up, would really benefit from a fast pace, and he showed his fondness for Churchill Downs most recently over a good turf course. I just thought he got a great setup in that race. I think the pace was fast. It might be fast in this race. Those were not as strong horses as he's facing here. He came with a wide run. He grinded them down. He's been a little bit of a disappointment, I think, in his career, considering his pedigree and his connections. Shug McGahee, though, doesn't do this very often, wheeling horses back on less than 2 weeks, and he's had good success with it, so maybe he's feeling good with the way Revved Up is going.
The horses he's run at Churchill this meet, I know there's only been 3 of them, but he's got a win in 2 second-place finishes, so it feels like these horses all need to be forwardly placed, or I should say, at least they have a chance in here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ran well.
Applicator just missed last time out to Sir Dudley Diggs, a Queen's Plate winner. We know that this horse likes to be forwardly placed. He's only 3 for 34 lifetime.
He's going to be forward. I don't know that that puts him in any sort of good position here, considering his other speed.
Interesting that Team Colors now goes out for a new barn. This horse, a graded stakes placed on dirt. He's also run some nice races on the lawn. That was a live race last time out at Belmont. It produced Fire Away, who came back to win the Artie Schiller last week for Shug. 101 buyer for that horse.
Just a very bizarre campaign throughout his career that this horse has had. He's done some good things on turf, but they've run him on dirt and vice versa. I mean, his best race makes him a contender. I don't know what you're going to get, though.
Christian C. in Illinois bred, another one that adds to the pace. He added to the pace in the Shadwell Turf Mile. You can make the argument that if he didn't go after Heart to Heart at that point, Heart to Heart would have held off Sway Dois. Christian C. stretching out. I think he's just going to go. I think he's the one that's going to make Shining Copper a little bit nervous in the first furlong and force the rider of Shining Copper, Corey Lanery, to make a decision.
Just adds to the pace scenario.
Zulu Alpha is one of 2 in here for Calumet Farm. Throughout the last race on the dirt. The race 2 starts back was okay, although the horse that finished right in front of him, Royal Sun, we've never been a big fans of.
No, I like this horse, but I just don't know that he's quite this good.
What about the One Turf Titan? Very lightly raced. This will only be his 6th start. He's a son of Kitten's Joy. The additional distance, getting out to 1 1/8, should be okay. He's going to get a pace situation. Can you sort of sneak this horse into the number?
Suppose lightly raced, you never know. He can take a step forward. He's going to need to if he's going to hit the board.
Let's talk about some of the other prices in this race. I want to talk about Coco Man, who's probably not going to be a big price. But Coco Man, last time out, another horse I thought got a really beautiful ride from Corey Lanery. Just absolutely patient. Sitting in behind horses, waited for the right moment to split, and then came through. He beat 3 of these common foes. Yeah. He beat Sir Dudley Diggs, who came back to beat Applicator, and he got a 99 buyer speed figure. He also has the right running style. His lead changes are a little bit awkward, a little better last time at Keeneland. I think he's very dangerous.
I thought he was awesome. I think he's the horse to beat in this spot. I understand everything worked out from a trip standpoint. It's probably going to work out again unless you find some sort of traffic in here, which you never know until they actually run the race. Pace, not going to be an issue. He won that race like he was breaking sticks. It was a matter of just the minute he got clear, he went off and won for fun. I think he is strictly the horse to beat.
Kasaki's a real class master. He won the Grade 2 Wise Dan Stakes at Churchill Downs earlier this year. To me, though, it seems like he's gone a little bit off form, and he's another horse. He has run obviously good races, second in the Arlington Million in 2016. I'm just not sure if Nacho Correa's ever figured out what this horse's best distance is. I'm not sure if it's 1 1/8. He had a worse trip than Coco Man last time out, but I needed to see him run more.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment that there wasn't a ton of finish in him there. He did have a bit of a trip. It's also worth noting he's had a long campaign as well. This has been pretty much continuous racing since April the 1st. I mean, I think he's an obvious horse to consider. I just don't know at what price I would take him.
We loved the way Summon Tieme won the Grade 3 Louisville 2 starts back at Churchill Downs at 1.5 miles. And then he went to the sidelines. It's never a good sign when a sharp horse goes away. He came back in the Sycamore at Keeneland. We wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't run at all in that race, and now they're cutting him back. He's going to get pace, but he may need more distance.
Distance. I don't like him at this 9 furlongs. I wonder if he can still run because he was gone for some time. You get him back out to, 1.5 miles, maybe he's got a shot.
Let's talk about our selections for the Grade 3 River City Handicap. Let's talk about the 7, Vittori Kin, like Summon Tieme, trained by Kenny McPeak. This one coming off of a long layoff, but returning to a good service and gets Lasix. That's a big move for McPeak.
Yeah, gets Lasix for the first time. We haven't seen him since the UAE Derby. He was a Southern Hemisphere 3-year-old at that point. He just turned 4 at this point. Now, gets back to the turf. McPeak past 3 years, 180-plus day layoffs, 0 for 33. So this is not a positive move for him. There's a scenario where I could see this being nothing more than a tightener to get him into something going forward. I thought his run against older horses 2 back was really, really good. You go and look. It was at 1.5 miles over fast ground. He went up, he loomed, and that final 3/8 of a mile, he just flattened out. I wonder if the distance got him. I know he wanted 1.5 miles 2 back, but that was against his own company with 3-year-olds, and he went on and was much better than those horses. That 1.5 mile run against older horses when he flattened out, I kind of feel like this 1 1/8 is going to be right in his wheelhouse. I know the whole jockey thing, don't read too much into it. Florent Giroux could have had, I'm sure, any choice of different mounts in here. Don't overlook that. I think he's got a big chance. You're not going to get the 30 to 1. Though.
And the race I saw 3 starts back, it was running a driving rainstorm on soft turf, but he showed a little bit of speed. He got a really nice pocket trip that day. Really stormed through the stretch. He's an interesting horse. I wonder if he needs one, but 30 to 1 on the morning line, you really can't go wrong. You're going 7, 9, 12, and 6. I want Thatcher Street, who I believe won this race last year, although although he did it from a much better post position over a wet turf course, which he might appreciate. Here's my argument for Thatcher Street before I get to the argument against him. We've already made some of those. I thought his last race was very, very good, and I think Ian Wilkes has been pointing for this race all year long for this horse after winning it last year. Last time out, there was a hot pace. He battled it out with 2 other horses. He put both of those horses away, and then Coco Mon came and split horses and got him late. I don't think it was a bad performance at all. That's 1. 2, he loves Churchill Downs. Not only is he the defending champion of the race, he's won 4 of 9 races here. He is 1 for 23. Everywhere else. 3, Wilkes won this race, second off the layoff after a pace-pressing 4th place finish at Keeneland. He's coming off with a similar pattern. Second off the layoff after a pace-pressing effort. Now we get to the negatives. This post position is horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it's kind of hard to chop it up any other way. It'd be one thing if you were a one-run closer where you can just take back, get over, and save ground. It is what it is. He has a little bit of tactical speed. The problem is with the other speed signed on in here, no matter what, I think best case scenario, you're hung 4 wide going into the first turn. Then it comes down to a matter of he's 1 for 6 at the distance. You're going to carry that ground at 1 mile and an 1/8.
Firm turf.
Firm turf. Are you going to be able to put the other speeds in your back pocket and hold off the horses coming from the back? We'll find out. I agree with you. I thought that Keeneland race was very good in between horses. He's just going to have to work something out from out there.
Post 12 and out at this distance on this turf course going back a long time is something like 1 for 72. So he's got his work cut out for him, but the price should be right, probably because of the post position a little bit. He's 15-1 on the line. I'll go 14, 9, 5, and 6 in the Grade 3 River City Handicap. It has an approximate post time of 4:22. Best of luck. Happy Thanksgiving.